Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing this wonderful Saturday? I hope you have been well rested. I hope you have gotten up to start your day, letting the sun shine brightly on your face. For today is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, today is beautiful. Today is Saturday, August 1st, and it's the beginning of a new month and the beginning of a new chapter for all of us. I thank you for tuning in on our last day for the summer enrichment program. And I thank you so much for tuning in. I'm just going to cover one last subject this morning. And then if you have any questions as far as what we covered overall, I am here to help because you know Miss Chris loves to help. So you know the drill. Um, like, heart, thumbs up, all that good stuff. So let me know that you can hear me so we can get started. Thank you so much. Let's get started. So, of course, you guys, this is um, one of the last things that you'll probably see and cover in pre-calculus basic key components, which of course would be financial models. The financial models consist of the simple interest, the compound interest, and the continuous interest model. And a lot of it is just formula. And so what I'm going to do is give you the each formula, what each formula represents, and then after that, give you a few example problems. And then, of course, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to comment them below. All right, let's get started. So first thing we're going to cover is simple interest. Simple interest is saying, hey, I invested this money and or I took out this loan and how much interest am I paying over a period of time annually. Now, keep in mind, simple interest is always based on annual, meaning 1 year. So you can break it down into months, you can break it down into days, but it must be to the equivalent of 1 year. So the simple interest equation is I for interest equals P, the principal, the money you start with, times the rate, which is the interest rate, times the time, which is the number of years, or in annual terms. So, say for instance, because a lot of times when you do simple interest, it's based off of word problems. So, first word problem is if Michael invests $2,000 in the bank at a rate of 5.5% for 6 years, how much interest will he make? All right, well, Michael starts off first with what we're looking for is I. Michael first starts off with $2,000 and he is growing in interest 5%, 5.5%. Now, your percent is typically written as maximize. This is typically written as this. To properly multiply it to the principal, you will need to convert it to its actual decimal form. So if you remember percent to decimal, all you are doing is either moving the decimal place 2 places to the left or dividing by 100 whichever you prefer. And once you move it 2 places to the left, that gives me a decimal of 0.055. And we are doing this based off of what? 6 years. So we're already in the mindset of annual. We don't have to convert into months or days. So just multiply times 6. So now all you have to do is multiply the numbers. So we have 2,000 times 0.055. It is not 0.55. 0.55 is 55%. 0.055 is 5.5%. So we multiply 2,000 times 0.055 times 6, and my interest that I've earned over 6 years is $660. Simple, right? That's why it's called simple interest. All right. Another problem. Kelsey takes out a loan for $6,000 to start her business after high school. Go ahead, Kelsey. Entrepreneur, I like that. The bank charges 8% interest for the loan. After 5 years, how much interest will be added onto the loan? So, of course, we start off with 6,000. 8% is being charged, and we're still operating in annual, so 5 years. So now we have I equals principal, took out a $6,000 loan, times 8%, which is 0.08, times, if I remember correctly, that's 5 years. Yep, 5 years. So times 5. And of course, you break out with your handy dandy calculator. This is the only time I'm allowing calculators. Now, if you are a brain whiz person and you like to multiply everything by hand, go forth. You are one of my favorite people. But hey, sometimes you may need a calculator just to verify your answer. So 6,000 times 0.08 times 5, that gives me, wow, interest of $2,400. So if she paid it off in 5 years, this is how much interest she is going to pay on the 6,000, which means in total they're paying $8,400 if they pay it off in 5 years. So remember, when you're borrowing money, make sure you're reading the terms of how much interest compounded daily and how much interest, simple interest overall per year, because this is how much you're paying extra on top of the interest you're paying extra when you're borrowing money. Any questions on simple interest? Now, sometimes you'll get simple interest problems where you have to convert your years. And the reason why there's a conversion is because it will reference days or months. So instead of it being 1 year, 3 year, 2.5 years, or 1.5 years, it'll be 9 months, 7 months, 155 days. So what does that look like if you're doing simple interest, but instead of years, you have months and days? So I equals move this to the side so I can see. I equals 5,060 for the principal times 11%, which will be 0.11, times 9 months. So if you have 9 months, well, how many months is in a year? 12. So we're going to put 9 over 12 to represent the whole year. So anytime you have it representing months, you're going to put it over 12. Anytime you're representing days, say for instance, it says over 30 days, that's going to be 30 over 365. So months over 12, days over 365. Now, as I multiply, what I typically do first, especially if you have a simple calculator, I would go ahead and say 9 divided by 12, which of course is 0.75. And then I multiply that by 0.11. Then I will multiply 5,060. So the interest that accrued over 9 months by 11% is $466.95. Any questions on simple interest when converting from months or days? All right. Next up we have is compound interest. Compound interest is the interest paid on the principal and previously earned interest. So more normally you hear compound when you are compounding annually, semi-annually, monthly, quarterly, and daily. You'll hear those a lot. And also, yeah, quarterly, daily, and monthly. And so you will hear these a lot when you're doing a compound interest. And so how much interest was paid, or how much interest was earned when it's compounded. So compound interest has a formula. Its formula is A equals P for principal, 1 plus the rate, which is, of course, the interest rate, over the number compounded, the compounded number, raised to the compounded number times the number of years. So, principal, rate, compound factor, and years. T will always be in years. Now, of course, if T comes in months, put it over 12, or in days, put it over 365. Usually with compound interest, time is always in years because you're compounding based on annual, which is 1 year or one time annually. Semi-annually is 2 times. Quarterly is 4 times. Monthly, of course, is 12 times. And of course, daily is 365 times. So you'll have annual, semi-annual, annual, semi-annual, quarterly, monthly, and daily compound interest. And depending on what the question is asking you, you can find, your answer. So let's do some example problems so you see what I'm talking about. How about that? All right, say you have a 3-year investment of $20,000 and you receive 5.2% interest that compounds semi-annually. What is your total return? So, first things first, we have established we are looking for our return. So, of course, the return or what we will be paying, that will always be A. What we started off with is $20,000. That is my principal. Then we have a rate of 5.2%. I already know 5.2% is 0.052, and it's compounding semi-annually. So I'm dividing by 2. Then I'm raising it to the semi-annual. And we are doing this in 3 years. So that's times 3. Now, A equals 20,000. One plus 0.052 over 2. And of course, 2 times 3 to the 2 times 3, which is the 6th power. So what do you start with first? How do you begin this problem? First thing you're going to want to do is divide First thing you're going to want to do is divide the 0.052 divided by 2. Find that answer first, then add 1. After you add that 1, raise it to the 6th power. After you have raised to the 6th power, multiply it times the 20,000. So divide, add, raise to the power, and then multiply. So 0.052 divided by 2 is 0.026. Then I add 1. Then, of course, I add 1. Then I raise it to the 6th power. Which roughly, based on my calculator, is 1.16498462. That is the rough answer because it's probably more answers, more decimals than that. So know that as far as your calculator goes, that is where you would multiply the 20,000. Do not Do not round. You may cheat yourself from your money or round too early. So always round at the end. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to multiply it to 20,000. And what I am given, I started off with 20,000. And when I finish after 3 years, I started off with 20,000. I will now end up with $23,329.97. This is when you round because it actually is 0.968. And of course, the 6 tells me the 6 is what I'm rounding. The 8 tells me whether I go up or stay the same. So 8 means I go up. Therefore, it's 97 cents. This is how you do a compounded interest. Now, say for instance, it was based on annual instead of it's annual instead of semi-annual. The only thing changing is the compound. Compound annually is 1. Compound quarterly, 12. Well, compound monthly, 12. Compound quarterly, 4. And of course, compound daily, $365. That is the only difference. If it says compound annually, use a 1, semi-annually 2, quarterly 4, monthly 12, and daily 365. Any questions on compound interest? All right. Last but certainly not least, we have continuous compounding. Keyword is continuous. That means it goes on forever. There's no it's not compounded based on a number of times. It is continuous. It keeps growing. Basically, it's the day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, it keeps growing. There's no defined or definite measure to the continuous compounding. So for it to be continuous, it is the principal times base E raised to the rate percent times t years. So you will see problems like how much money will you have in 4 years if you invest 4,000 at 3% that is compounded continuously? What does that look like? Simply put, A equals, you have 4,000 E being the continuous portion, and the rate is 3%, and it's over 4 years. So 0.03 and that's multiplied times 4. So now you have 4,000 and the E is raised to 0.112. And of course, you do the base E first. After you do the base E, or E raised to the 0.12, once you do that, you times that by 4,000, and you started off with 4,000, but after continuous compounding for the next 4 years, you have earned $509.99, which brings your full investment to $4,509.99. Pretty neat, huh? Now, base E is its own component. Is usually met with log and usually natural log and base E, just like we came up with logarithm and base 10. Same principle, except E is based on continuous function. So with this continuous function, it allows us to compound continuously. So whenever you are dealing with a problem that says that you are compounding in a continuous manner, this is how this works. Any questions on compounding continuously? Well, you guys, this is really the letter for today. Just wanted to show you guys the financial component that will be applied to pre-calculus. You will see this earlier than pre-calculus, but you'll see it more frequently in pre-calculus than you do in any other subject. You'll start seeing it around algebra 1, and it'll continue to build but be more prevalent in pre-calculus. So, of course, if you have any questions about this, you can, because I am here to help. Other than that, we are going to start our live tutoring session. If you have any questions, of course, I am here to help. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday. Welcome, welcome, and thank you for tuning into this live tutoring session. We have covered the last piece of pre-calculus, which was the financial models of compound interest, simple interest, and continuously compound interest. If you are looking to see that information, you can click on our YouTube link that is listed in the description below. Once you have clicked on the YouTube link, it'll allow you to click on this live, and you can rewind it by scrolling to the left, double left, whichever you prefer, that's your prerogative. But thank you for tuning in, of course, with the live tutoring session. This is for those who have any math questions that are puzzling to you, or if there's a math subject that you're like, hey, I am struggling with fractions, I am struggling with basic facts, I'm struggling with square roots, I'm struggling with integrals. Whatever you are needing help with, guess what? You can comment that below, because other than that, I hope you are having a super Saturday. Also, today is our last day of our enrichment program, but we will still be tutoring on Saturdays. So we're going to take a break. So we'll be off on the 8th and the 15th. We'll be back on the 22nd. August 22nd. And so I will have the schedule for tutoring times that will be up for live. Also, if you are wanting tutoring sessions outside of that, I will be that is how you can reach me and how you can get on the schedule. So that way we can do this together because guess what? We are in this together. We may be in a pandemic, but the pandemic does not have us, okay? So, of course, you know how to reach me, you know how to get to me, and we will continue our live tutoring session. If you have any questions, please comment them below. Other than that, I hope you are having a superb Saturday and just thank you for tuning in so much. Well, you guys, if there are no questions, we're going to go ahead and end this beautiful live. I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for joining this journey with me. This has been interesting. I can say the least. It helped me step out of my comfort zone, and it was to make sure that, guess what? We're in a pandemic. We may be in the pandemic, but the pandemic doesn't have us. And so I first give honor to God, who is the head of my life. I believe in Jesus Christ. He is my Lord and Savior. And I thank him every day for placing this mantle on me to help his people. And so I do this out of love for God and out of love for people. And I love helping how. And so the numbers, the gift of numbers, I pour it out to others as it's poured into me. I love numbers. What I love about numbers is teaching them. My first passion and love has always been 1+1 is 2, and it's skyrocketed from there. And so any way I can, all that I can to help you guide through whatever you need for mathematics, I am here. My name is Miss Chris, and I'm so thankful that you guys were able to tune in. Also, are listed on my YouTube page. The link is in the description below in case you guys want to review and see everything that we covered from the month of June up until now. If you need me outside of this live, if you need me outside of the future lives, you can inbox me, you can DM me, and you can IM me. On all of my social media platforms. First platform is Krishan McConaughey. This is how you spell my name. And if you are trying to find me on Facebook, this is how you can find me. Other than that, Mathematics for You Tutorial Services LLC is how you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Those are all of my business platforms for the tutoring services. Also, if you are needing tutoring, if you're needing tutoring and you through my inbox or you can't DM or IM me, you can text me at 205-542-5062. This is my main line for Mathematics for You tutorial services. So text me at 205-542-5062, and I promise I will get to you at my earliest convenience, making sure that I get you in so that we can learn math and explore it together. Because guess what? Everything you do, everywhere you go, it has math in it. So the measurement of your door to how much money you make, to how many counts you do when you're dancing, to the highest of heights of learning. Everything you do, everything you touch has some type of math in it. And I welcome that you embrace that. You find peace in that and knowing that, hey, math is a set system. It's not hard. It is to a complicated depth, but if you reach the right person and you learn from the right people, you shall be able to reap and harvest into the knowledge of mathematics. So again, my name is Miss Chris. I hope you guys had a fantastic time with me as I with you. Also, we're starting back. We're taking a break for 2 weeks, starting today. And then afterwards will be Saturdays. I will have all my Saturday schedules available and prompt. I will be tutoring starting at either 2 on Saturdays or 8 on Saturdays. And guess what? I will be here and I will be on live tutoring and showing you things until the last person say, hey, I'm done, or we haven't heard anything else from anyone. Main thing I want you to remember is this: math is everything. So So if you want to learn anything, math is in everything. And I look forward and I am honored that you would allow me to help you journey through that. Also, ask questions, ask all the questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions because the question you have today, someone will have tomorrow. And so we'll keep these videos up and I will acknowledge your questions, your answers, whatever you need. Of course, I'm here to help. Other than that, my name is Miss Chris of Mathematics for You, Tutoring Services LLC. Motto is we are changing mindsets, one problem at a time. Have a blessed Saturday, and I'll see you soon.